Hi students, today we are going to learn about a number system. Under this chapter, today we are going to learn operation on the real numbers. Before that, we will recall what we have learned in the earlier class. We have learned that rational number and irrational number satisfying the properties commutative, associative, distributive under addition and multiplication, right? Both rational and irrational satisfies these three properties, the commutative, associative, distributive under addition and multiplication. Here we are going to see a thing. If we add, subtract, multiple and divide a two rational number, we get again a rational number, right? That's what it says. Let me see some examples. Here 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2. So we are adding a two irrational number. The result is also a rational number. So 1 by 2 and 1 by 2. Both are the rational number. If we add the rational number, the result is also a rational number. 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 is a 2 by 2. That is a 1. Half plus half is also 1, right? So the addition of two rational number is a rational number. The same way when we see for the subtraction, 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2, the result is 0. 0 is a rational number. When we go for a multiplication, 1 by 2 into 1 by 2, the answer is 1 by 4. So the 1 by 2 is a rational, 1 by 2 is a rational. When we multiply the both, the result is also a rational. Here we go for a division. So 1 by 2 is a rational number and 2 is the rational number. If you divide, the answer is a 1 by 4, which is also a rational number. Okay. Now you guess what happened when we add or multiple or subtract or divide two irrational numbers. Can you guess the result will be an rational or irrational or what? That's what you are going to see here. But the statement is not true for a irrational number. Yes, when we add a two irrational number, not always the result will be a irrational number. Here we go for one example. Square root of plus square root of 2 plus square root of 2 is equal to 2 square root of 2. So here the result is a irrational, right? But what the statement says, it's not true, not true. Yes, it's not always true. That's what you are going to see. Now you see square root of 2, it's a irrational number. I'm going to add with a negative square root of 2. What is the answer? What is the answer? Now you see 0. It's a rational, right? Now we're going for, I will show an example for a subtraction. Square root of 3 minus square root of 3. So what happened? 0. It's a irrational, right? When so the addition of two irrational number is not always an irrational number. Subtraction of two irrational number is also not always an irrational number, right? Next is what? Multiplication. What happened when we multiply square root of 5 into the square root of 5? Square root of 5 into square root of 5. What will happen? Can you guess what is the answer? Yes, the answer is 5. It's a rational, right? So multiplication is also not satisfied. So when you multiply two irrational number, the result can be a rational. It's not always a irrational. Clear? Next we are going to see a division. Same division, you can take a same number, square root of 2 divided by square root of 2. The answer is what? It's 1, right? It's a rational. It's not irrational, but square root of 2 and square root of 2 is a irrational, right? So it's clear from these examples. If you add, subtract or multiply, divide the two rational number, the result is a rational number. But when we do for an irrational, it is not true always. Sometimes, but not always. So it is not a true, right? Okay. Now we can compare, here we compare rational number with a rational number, right? Here we compare irrational numbers. Irrational number comparison means we did an operation among them. So now let us look what happened when we add, subtract, multiple a rational number with irrational number. So we are doing with rational number with irrational numbers. Comparing, just we can add an 2 plus root 3. So the 2 is a rational and square root of 3 is a rational. So what will be the result? Can you guess? Yes, the result will be a irrational, right? The result will be irrational because the square root of 3 values, if you represent in the decimal, it is a non-terminating and non-recurring. So when you add a 2 with that, even it result will be a non-terminating and non-recurring. So result is a irrational. So when we add a rational and irrational, the result will be a irrational. The same for the subtraction. If you just do 2 minus square root of 3 also, right? This addition of this rational number will not create a much difference in the irrational decimal values. Irrational decimal values is a non-terminating or non-recurring. It does not change much in that decimal values. So the result always will be a irrational, right? The same case is for the multiplication. When multiple 2 into square root of 3, yes, 2 times. The square root of 3 value is a non-terminating, non-recurring. If you multiply 2, just it will increase. Again, it is increasing the value, and the decimal value will not terminate or not reoccur, right? So the result is also a irrational. Let me see what happened when we are dividing the irrational numbers. 1 by square root of 5. So this is a strange thing that you are looking, right? You didn't see so far that irrational number in the denominator. So what happened when irrational number in the denominator? Nothing. This we can solve by changing the irrational number in the denominator as the rational number. How we can change the irrational number in the rational number? Yes, previously we saw, right? The multiplication of the two irrational numbers gives the rational number. That also you can note that if the two numbers are the same, right? That's what we are going to do here. This is what is in the denominator. We are going to multiply both numerator and denominator, right? So now this fraction doesn't change. It's changed like an equivalent fraction, right? So now the result is 1 into square root of 5 is square root of 5. What happened when square root of 5 into square root of 5? The result is 5. Now you see. So result here, the result is also a irrational, right? So when we add, subtract, multiply or divide a rational and irrational, result is always a irrational. Next we will see some identities. We have learned few identities in earlier classes, like a plus b the whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square, a minus b the whole square is equal to a square minus 2ab plus b square, a plus b into a minus b is equal to a square minus b square, right? So those are few identities we have learned already, but that doesn't contain a square root. Actually this is called as a radical. Without this symbol we have learned, right? So here we are going to have some identities with the radical. This symbol is called as a radical, right? Yes, we are going to see identities with these symbols. The first, it says square root of a b is equal to square root of a into square root of b. Example, square root of 2 into 3. So ab means a into b. It means two different numbers. Square root of 2 into 3 we can represent as a square root of 2 into square root of 3. The same for the division. The whole square root of a divided by b is equal to square root of a by square root of b. Square root of 2 by 3 we can represent it as a square root of 2 divided by square root of 3. So the next identity is the square root of a plus square root of b into square root of a minus square root of b is equal to a minus b. It's look like the identities we have seen already. It's like an a plus b into a minus b. What is a plus b into a minus b? A plus b into a minus b is a square minus b square. Here a square is a square root of a. So square root of a the whole square minus b is the square root of b. So square root of b the whole square. So square root of a the whole square is a. That's why the result is a here, minus square root of b the whole square is b. A minus b, right? It's closely related to the a plus b into a minus b identities, right? Next, a plus square root of b into a minus square root of b is equal to a square minus b. This is also the same, similar as this, but here the a is the same a but b is a square root of b, so you'll get a square minus square root of b the whole square, and result is a square minus b. The square root of b the whole square is a b, right? So next identity is square root of a plus square root of b into square root of c plus square root of d. The result is a square root of ac plus square root of ad plus square root of bc plus square root of bd. Here actually we will multiple the square root of a into the two terms, right? When you multiple, you will get a square root of a into square root of c plus a multiplying with d, square root of a into square root of d. Next we b multiple with these two terms, square root of b you will multiply with these two terms, so plus square root of b into square root of c plus b multiple with the d, you get square root of b square root of d, right? So square root of ac, square root of a into square root of c, you can write as a square root of ac, right? That's what the first identity is saying. If it is a into b, you can write it as a square root of a into square root of b. So the reverse is also vice versa also satisfies, right? That's why square root of a into square root of c written as a square root of ac, square root of a into square root of d, it is a square root of ad, square root of b into square root of c is a square root of bc, square root of b into square root of d is a square root of bd, right? Next, square root of a plus square root of b the whole square. Yeah, I think you guessed. That's it. It is also similar to the identities a plus b the whole square. So a square minus 2ab plus b square. A is the square root of a, b is the square root of b. So a square means square root of a the whole square plus 2 into square root of a into square root of b plus square root of b the whole square, which is a square minus 2ab plus b square. So square root of a the whole square is an a. 2 into the square root of a into square root of b, it's written as a square root of ab plus square root of b the whole square written as a b, right? Clear? These identities you can remember so that you can do an problem very fast. So next we'll go for some example problems. Can you see that? What is this? Which identity satisfies? It is like an identity satisfying like a fifth identities, but it have a square root on all the four terms. But here you can see it doesn't have square root of the first two term. No problem, we can do it, right? So the 3 you have to multiple with this both terms. So 3 into 2, first we have to multiple 3 into 2 here the plus, so 3 is multiplied into the square root of 2, it is 3 square root of 2, right? Plus next square root of 3 into 2, square root of 3 are multiplying with these terms, so square root of 3 into 2 plus square root of 3 into square root of 2. So what happened? 3 2s are 6 plus 3 square root of 2, this 2 square root of 3, and when square root of 3 and square root of 2, we can write it as do you remember which identities? We can use the first identity, square root of a into square root of b is the square root of ab, that is plus square root of 3 into 2, 3 2s are 6, right? Clear? Any doubt in this? So here we are using the first identity, square root of a into square root of b is square root of ab, the first identities, right? That's why we are using here. So the next problem, 3 plus square root of 3 into the 3 minus square root of 3. This is, it's like a direct identities. We can use that identities is a plus square root of b into a minus square root of 2. The answer is a square minus, can you guess? Yes, b. A plus b into a minus b square minus b square. You can even do by that way. I will show it that way. So the 3 a plus b into a minus b means what you will? A square minus b square. What is a here? Here 3. So 3 square minus b is a square root of 3. Square root of 3 the whole square. What happened? 3 square is 9 minus square root of 3 the whole square. It will become a 3. Right? A square minus b. You can apply the identities and you can do directly this step, or else you can do by this step also. That's also not a problem. Or else you can directly do this step. What is the final answer? 9 minus 3. It's a 6. This is the 3. Right. Next, the final problem. We are going to see about the rationalizing the denominator. We already saw the rationalizing denominator, but in that problem the denominator we have only the one rational number. There's no operation in the denominator, but here you can see there is an operation in the denominator. So what we can do here? Yes, I think you remember about the identities. I will show you here. So can you see the identities here? If it is an operation addition or subtraction, if you multiple with the same the A and B, the result will come without a radical, that is without a square root symbol, right? Then denominator will become an rational. Then we can do easily. If the both have the square root also, we can write. If one is the number and one another is without a radical and another is with radical also, we can convert the same. But this it says clearly if one is in an addition, another is in a subtraction, right? So one is in addition and another is a subtraction. That is the thing you want to remember it. Okay, so here you go for the sum. So here the question it's given in a subtraction. So this we are going to write in the equivalent fraction, 1 by square root of 7 minus square root of 6. So it's in a subtraction, right? If we have an addition of the same group, we can convert, right? But multiplying this addition of the same group, the same, that's why here it's a subtraction. So we are going to multiply the same thing instead of this subtraction, we are going to do the addition. Square root of 7 plus square root of 6 divided by square root of 7 plus square root of 6. Now you see, if you multiply the numerator, what happens? So 1 times it will come the same, square root of 7 plus square root of 6 divided by the denominator. You see, it is like in a minus b into a plus b, right? It is in the a minus b into a plus b. So what is the answer? That is here the a is a square root of 7, b is a square root of 6, the a square. So square root of 7 the whole square, it will become a 7 minus square root of 6, so the whole square, it will become a 6, right? So even you can write the identities here so that you can remember. I will write an identities here so that you can remember. Square root of a plus square root of b into square root of a minus square root of b is equal to a minus b, right? Clear? Directly you can apply this and 7 minus 6. So what happened in the next step? Square root of 7 plus square root of 6 divided by 7 minus 6 is a 1. So the answer is square root of 7 plus square root of 6. That's it. We rationalize. The question is about rationalize the denominator. See here, we have rationalized the denominator. Only the rational number is there. What is the denominator here? Denominator is 1, which is the rational. So this process is called a rationalize. Rationalize means we are changing the irrational to the rational, especially in the denominator. We are changing the denominator rational number to the irrational number. Once again, I will explain by using these identities. If it is in a subtraction, multiple with an addition with the same group. If it is in addition, if the question is provided in the addition, you just change to the subtraction and multiple, and further you proceed with the normal rule, then you will obtain a rational number in the denominator. So just multiplying the numerator, you will get the square root of 7 plus square root of 6 divided by just applying an identities, square root of a plus square root of b into square root of a minus square root of b. If you feel difficult to remember this identities, also you can remember the a minus b into a plus b, a square minus b square. So square root of 7 the whole square is 7, square root of 6 the whole square is a 6. So you can remember that also. That it will take one more step. If you remember this identities, you can do in the one step. If you are doing with that identities without the radical identities, it will take one more step. But even you will get an answer. So here we will divide the denominator, we obtain the rational. So this is the rationalizing the denominator. Thank you.